Hi, my name's TechDave, and today I'm celebrating 1,500 subscribers and a little run through of my entire ThinkPad collection. So, before we get started with the full ThinkPad collection, I just want to say thank you sincerely so much to anyone that has liked, subscribed, shared the videos, interacted in any way with my content. It's awesome. Basically, I passed 1,500 subscribers. I was monetized. I lost monetization because I didn't have ID, but I can sort that out. So I'm in the process of sorting that out. Yeah, and I just wanted to say thank you to anyone that supported the channel, anyone that's gotten involved with leaving comments, likes, etc. So, to start with, the first laptop, I'm trying a new little thing here, so you'll see here, we have a top-down camera. So, first ThinkPad, we've got the Lenovo ThinkPad X200. Now this thing is, it's cute, it's tiny, it's a Core 2 Duo, I think it's the P8600, but I can't remember off the top of my head. And there it is in all its glory, I'm seeing on the top-down camera. So, what we got? We've got 12.1 inch form factor, we've got a lovely Island Star keyboard, track point, no trackpad, which I think is like generally a win. I'm going to go into BIOS. Yeah, so what are we rocking? We've got the Intel Core 2 Duo P8600 at 2.4 GHz, two 2 gig DIMMs, so 4 gig total. I don't know what operating system I've got on here. I think it was Pop! OS, but I think I took the drive out. Yeah, it's pretty. I occasionally have issues with it booting unsuccessfully due to, I think, a dead CMOS battery. But as you can see, we have got Linux Mint. Right, I didn't actually swap that out. I thought I did, but I didn't. Linux Mint, I'm guessing I've got i3 Media Manager on here. I've got two 6-cell batteries for it, both of which have the occasional trouble booting. What is this background I put here? Ah, I know what this is from. Right, so this is a writing laptop primarily. So if I pull back a little bit, you can see. I don't know if you can make that out on screen, but it's been set up for writing due to the exquisite keyboard. In regards ports, in fact, just to go on about that keyboard a bit more. We've got 3 little divots here. We've got page back, page forward. Around the arrow keys, Think Light I believe is function, and this one, it's got a Think Light, which is actually something I miss on newer ThinkPads. Never been a fan of backlit keyboard. Just a track point, fingerprint reader. And then in regards to port selection, on the left we have power, CPU venting, CPU vent, VGA, 2 USB 2, gigabit Ethernet, and wireless kill switch plus express card, which I have used with an eGPU before on a different model. I haven't actually tried it on this one recently. Oh, did I? Maybe in a previous video. I tried eGPUs, used the GT710, originally licensed for, I believe, Windows XP, or no, Windows 7. And I've got a 60 gig SSD. On the other side, we've got power, sorry, not power, what am I talking about, USB, 2 separate headphone and microphone jacks, RJ11 for modem, and I have used that to receive calls before. It's pretty cool. It's got the 3G module, but it's not much use for anything. And then to accompany that, we have, which will lead on to our second laptop as well, we've got the Ultra Bay 2, which is specifically, appears to be the Canadian version that I have for some reason, but it's the X200 Ultra Base. Yeah, this is a thing. So you've got mechanical undocking selector, you've got the software undock, you've got a second battery charger, so you can charge a second battery, power, 3 USB, VGA, display port that on this one doesn't carry audio signal, but does on the next laptop I'm going to show you, dedicated headphone and microphone jacks, and gigabit Ethernet. Nothing in the drive bay at the moment, but I did have a hard drive in there, and you can use a DVD drive or a CD drive and another USB port on this side here, which I'd completely forgotten about and never used, so I always forget it's there. So that's the first laptop. Portageur X200. Laptop number 2. So we got the X201 tablet. This definitely doesn't have a working drive in it at the moment. I'll fire her up and see what the specs are because I can't recall off the top of my head. It's touchscreen with a stylus. I don't have the stylus because the one it came with didn't work. We'll look more into that in a minute. F1, ThinkPad button. I can see here an i7 L640 at 2.13 GHz. Come on, drop me into the BIOS. It's got, I'll show you the world's tiniest little trackpad, 2 little dedicated buttons, and then you've got the track point. Again, a pretty lovely keyboard, but a bit more plasticky and rigid, a bit more hard on the fingers. Originally shipped with Windows 7, it's got the Wacom tablet, so you use touchscreen and you can use a stylus with it as well. It's got fingerprint reader built into the front bezel, and then dedicated buttons here for the touchscreen. It goes into tablet mode. Did have a little switch here that locked the device, but it got broken off, which also happened with, I think it's got 4 gigs of RAM as well in this one. The battery disconnect switch also broke. So the drive bay is unpopulated, 4 gigs of RAM. Ports wise, we've got USB 2, we've got Kensington lock, I assume that little thing there. Silo for the stylus, hard drive bay. RJ11 again. Dedicated headphone and mic jack. USB 2.0. On the other side, we've got power supply, CPU vent, VGA, Ethernet, I think just gigabit as well, express card as well, the USB-A port, and then the wireless kill switch, which is a little bit sticky. And that it does have a webcam, which is absolutely awful because it's like a first gen i7, do you know what I mean? So it's not going to have the best hardware in it by modern standards. Still got the divots. It's a nice condition. Set the screen, which has got bits fingerprinty, scuffy, and a few scratches. But yeah, that's the X201 tablet for you there. Next, moving up a generation. Please check out my video, a brief overview of the X220 in 2024. If you haven't seen it already, go to my channel, like, subscribe, share, and then check out my video about this laptop. So I think this is the i5 2220M or 2520M. I can't remember. Let's just hit BIOS quick. So we've got the 2520M, 2.5 GHz, 8 gigs of RAM. Got a 9-cell battery, and then I've got a 128 gig SATA SSD. And I think my family just got home, so give me 1 second. Be back. Right, so they weren't in fact coming back, it was the postman. So on to the X220 once more. So we've got 8 gigs of DDR3 1333, we've got 2.5 gigahertz, 2520M, and then we've also got, so this one is in beautiful, immaculate condition, as you can see from the top down. Really nicely well looked after case. Trackpad's actually pretty nice on these. Track point is perfect. Keyboard and mouse perfect. I've swapped function and control in the BIOS. That's why I'm using control, not function, for the things like. And then so in here we've got a 9-cell battery, which is about 4 to 6 hours, which is actually pretty decent by 2 power. I've got the 8 gigs RAM I mentioned. Express card, wireless kill switch, full-size display port, 2 USB 2, no USB 3 on this because that only came on the i7, and VGA port. Power on the back, we've got 9-cell battery. On the other side we've got Kensington lock, hard drive bay, caddy thing, dual headphone and microphone jack, gigabit Ethernet, 1 USB 2 always on, and an SDHC. card reader. Now in this generation we also have in the house another i5, the slightly bigger one, and the i7 X220 tablet. So put that to one side for a moment. The X220 that we have here is, we can top down, in a bit of a state of disarray. So we're missing the M key, no track point knob, no hard drive at the moment, just some gaffer tape to hold it on, 2 gigs or 4 gigs of RAM, a non-working battery as far as I recall, and I was planning to do a full refurbishment of this, but let's see if it's got any juice in it at all. No, so the battery's completely dead, but I believe it's the 2220 or 2320M i5. It's not an i3, I know it's not an i3. But the display is also completely dead. So I was probably going to do a video where I fully refurbish this and get it back into brand new condition. So let me know in the comments and like section by voting with your comments that I should do that or not. So there's another second gen device. And then we've got over here the X220T. Oh no, that's the X230T. Alright, we'll come back to that in a minute. Where's the X220T? Over here. X220 tablet. This is the i7, but still, as far as I'm aware, no USB 3, which surprises me. So looking at top down, we've got same port array, full-size display port, 2 USBs, etc. We've got a 9-cell battery that's not in perfect condition. It's actually pretty savage. It's been cracked, and we've got the CPU vent block. We've got the silo for the stylus. And one USB 2.0. It's the i7. Let's just see if it's got enough juice to tell us which i7. It is dead as a dodo. But yeah, nice form factor fingerprint reader there in the palm rest. As you can see, the screen has been cracked by my son. He used to use this laptop to watch TV, and he was a toddler, so he broke things as toddlers do. Webcam, decent-ish trackpad, it's not too bad. Keyboard's absolutely beautiful, as you imagine, on the X220 model. So that is the X220T, i7 unknown, 8 gigs of RAM, 480 gig or 500 gig SSD with lots of software on. Windows 10. Whatever next. By the way, sorry about the camera angle, just here. I knocked the camera because I'm an idiot. Couldn't get it back to where it was. So next on the agenda, we've got the 3rd gen machines, which I shall deliver to visibility post haste. So 3rd gen machines. We've got my partner's i7 X220 tablet. Actually pretty good condition, refurbished case, so it's got like you can see it's taken off some of the rubberization. I don't know whether you can see here on the top now. I won't be able to show you that, but there's a few little scuffs on it where the rubberized coating has come off. But we've got silo, stylus, I'm not showing you properly, hard drive bay, dual headphone and microphone, blah 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 blah. All the bits that we need, including the express card, 2 USB 3.0, full size display port. Now on my, so that's my partner's. Then I have also the i5 variant, which is actually pretty decent. It's in good condition. I think it's got no drive in it, so if I just press F1, we should be able to show you which i5 it is. Just escape this nonsense. But yeah, stylus, hard drive bay, exactly the same port selection as the previous models. There's no point showing that. Oh look, we're going into Windows. I remember I put a 240 gig SSD in this. Yeah, pretty decent machine, pretty decent condition. Battery holds a couple of hours, but I could do with a new battery. There's some damage just here on the lid if you're looking on top down. But yeah, otherwise a pretty decent machine. I had it set up, I've got it set up with 16 gigs of 2133 megahertz RAM, which is epic. Dual core, 4 thread, i5, pretty decent. Then we've got my standard X230, also an i5. Not in perfect condition. The keyboard, a friend of mine keeps destroying his X230 keyboard over and over and over again. So I've donated mine to him 3 times now, I think, or twice. So I've been left with a refurbished poor quality keyboard. I've got a 9-cell battery for it. It's got the EC mod to bypass the battery requirements. It's got currently 8 gigs of RAM, I think, just 4 gigs of RAM. And I've got it booted with, let's have a look, I can't remember. I think I've just got a Windows drive in here. My X230 tablet, actually, I got a 256 gig M-SATA SSD in it, actually, come to think of it, to correct what I was saying before, and then a 500 gig hard drive, or a terabyte hard drive in the drive bay. This is 8 gigs RAM, right? 2.6 gigahertz i5, the Intel i5-3320M. Not the weakest, but not the best. And we've got just SSD with Windows, I believe. Port selection is identical to, but the fingerprint reader is here instead of on the front panel. I love these things. So mini DisplayPort is the only real variation, which I do have dongles for, and it's quite handy. And then it's got a docking connector as well, which can be used with all of the laptops I just mentioned, starting with the X220, and since then, can be used with the Ultra Base 3, which has got 4 USB ports, dedicated headphone and mic jack, VGA, DisplayPort with audio, gigabit, Ethernet and power, and then docking detach plus software detach. And then what have I got in here as well? I've got, oh yeah, there it is, 1 terabyte hard drive from my, with a load of games and ROMs, and I backed up my entire GOG offline collection onto that drive, so I've got about 300 and something gigs of offline installers for in case the internet goes down or if there's any issues, because we've had a few issues with our internet. That's the docking connector there, and that's compatible with all of the other laptops. It is not compatible, however, with my T430. So this is rocking 16 gigs, 13 and 33 megahertz. So I'll show you my stickers on top. We've got Ableton, we've got a load of just anime that I really love, because I basically stickered it so that I didn't sell this laptop because I loved it so much. With the i7 3840QM, we've got Japanese keyboard here, which looks absolutely sick, and it still functions fully as a QWERTY keyboard, but then you've got the smaller space bar and the 2 Japanese keys here. It's got the 1600 by 900 screen. I did like an extensive upgrade video on this. It's not got my 2133 megahertz at the moment, but that generally resides in there. We've got a DVD drive which has been replaced with a 500 gig hard drive, and then we've got another 500 gig, but it's an SSD in the main drive bay, which is situated here. And then we've got a headphone, microphone jack, VGA, mini DisplayPort, 2 USB 3.0 here. And you're going around. I do actually have a 9-cell for this, but I've been using it docked, so I haven't been using that. We've got power supply, 6-cell battery, Ethernet, always on USB 2.0, another USB 2.0, a spliff holding, aka eGPU, aka express card port there, 32mm. We've got the SD card reader, wireless kill switch. It's an absolute monster, 45 watt TDP, so it requires 145 watt charger. Otherwise it does not charge. So that's my T430, absolute monstrous beast, running Windows 10. Then from there, the next laptop is probably my X1 Carbon 4th Gen, which does have the 1-link dock, which is pretty cool. It's got the 1-link dock, which passes through power, so So we've got keyboard and mouse USB, we've got USB, two USB 3.0, two DisplayPort, one Ethernet, 1 gigabit Ethernet VGA, and then always on USB-C at the front, USB 2 at the front, and then a USB 3, and really nice quality audio jack there, which is nice to see because the one built into the laptop is not as nice. This won't currently turn on because the battery in it died horrifically, but it's got a low tactile, what did you describe it as? So they're very little actuation in them, so it takes a bit of getting used to the fingerprint reader. Surprisingly nice trackpad, really nice track point as well, but it's the track point, the keys feel very comfy and squishy. It's the X1 Carbon 4th gen, it's an i7 dual core 4 thread, 16 gigs of RAM soldered, running Windows 10 at the moment until I get a new battery. It's the 6th generation so I think it's the 6600. That's the power supply. We've got the one link dock connector, mini DisplayPort, USB 2.0 I believe, always on. Then we've got two USB 3 and a HDMI port and headphone microphone jack and Kensington lock, CPU vents at the back. We've got a little holder here at the back, just under the display bezel, that you can put in an SD card or a SIM card or both. You have a SIM and an SD card, but I don't have the antennas built into the display housing. So I would love, to be honest, I wanted this at some point. When I said I'm going to replace the battery, I'm going to get a new top bezel with the wireless WAN adapters, because I have got in my P51 the right, we'll come to my P51, but I've got the right wireless WAN card for it, because this would be a really nice portable low power machine. PWM backlight, which some people object to, but it's actually alright. 4th generation X1 Carbon, 6th gen CPU. Kind of a beast, kind of want to just get it fixed up so I can use it exclusively for Linux with wireless WAN. And then next, we've got the docking station there. Next device, generationally, because I don't know if they picked up that I was going through them generationally, we've got the absolutely monstrous P51. So, Lenovo ThinkPad P51. Have I missed anything? I don't think I have. Oh, also for all the 3rd generation and 2nd generation devices, we've got this docking station. It doesn't work with the tablet models, but it's got USB 3, so if you don't have that on your i5 variant of the 2nd gen, this actually works with that, and it's got 6 USB ports, VGA, Kensington lock, gigabit Ethernet, dedicated headphone microphone, just DVI-D, so no VGA support there, but it's also got VGA there anyway, and DisplayPort and power adapter. It also fits the S series by doing that. So that's just a random side note before we move on. I've got 2 docking stations for this, they're both integrated into my setup. I've also got the RX 480 6600 8GB just back there in that eGPU caddy, which is the Lenovo Legion boost station, also carrying currently a 500 gig hard drive. So we've got full, looking over here, 1080p touchscreen, number pad, really nice fingerprint reader, trackpad's gorgeous, the dedicated buttons are actually quite welcome. It's got a European keyboard, I don't know which kind. I thought it was German, but it's not. Someone corrected me on that, but I can't remember off the top of my head. And as you can see, I've got a Bluetooth dongle in there, 1080p full multi-touch. I would like to do a full long-term review on this, and I probably will, so let me know in the comments if you would like that. Mini DisplayPort, currently occupied by USB. USB Bluetooth dongle, because the built-in Bluetooth doesn't work. Headphone, wireless, headphone and microphone jack, another USB. On the back we've got power, HDMI, USB-C Thunderbolt 3, which I use with the eGPU. This is gigabit Ethernet, USB 3, USB 3 always on. On the other side we've just got a cheeky express card and SDXC card reader, plus Miss Blank for a smart card reader, CPU fans, all that sort of stuff. This is currently rocking the i7 7820HQ, 64 gigs of DDR3, 4 gig Quadro M2200, 500 gig boot drive for Windows 10, 1 terabyte NVMe for storage, and a 1 terabyte SSD, SATA SSD in a hard drive caddy as well. Eventually, I'd like to upgrade this to 64 gigs. Is pretty sweet, to be honest. I'm not getting full utilization out of it, so I'm not putting all the full 128 gig that I could have in here. The 64 gigs, I'm like playing modded games and stuff. I'll get well over 30, so it's really good. It's got all DIMM slots populated, but eventually I'd like to get each NVMe drive and replace them with a 1 or 2 terabyte each, so that's 4 terabytes plus 4 terabyte SATA SSD. Wang this thing on like Fedora Workstation once Windows end of service comes out, and just have an absolutely hench machine for Linux and possibly some virtualization, stuff like that. And the last remaining device that's been as yet undiscussed, which is going to keep playing, so we're going to undock it. We've got a docking station for this as well. The pièce de résistance, and then we've got a bonus one afterwards. We've got my T480 running Windows 11, back to 16 gigs of RAM. I did put 32 gigs of RAM in it. Did actually make a big difference when using it with the eGPU for gaming, but I allocated that RAM back to my P51, or to my P51, and put the 16 gig DDR4 2400 megahertz back in this. So i7 8th gen, pretty hench, 4 cores, 8 threads, idles low, low clock speeds though. So we've got USB-C power delivery and USB and video. And then we've got Thunderbolt 3, docking connector, CPU vent, smart card reader unpopulated with a card, but it does have one. Got the 3-cell, I've also got a 6-cell battery for it as well. It's got an internal battery as well using the bridge technology. SDXC, Ethernet, USB 3, HDMI, USB 3, combo. I have a microphone jack, pardon me. My favourite laptop at the moment, arguably, it's I need a workstation workflow with it. That's why I kept my P51 and not sold it on. But yeah, it's a beast. I love them to bits. I might be doing a long-term review of this as well by maxing out some specs. We'll see how we get on with that though. Got it back here docked to a projector and my 43-inch HD TV. Running Windows 11. It's my only device on Windows 11, so I just keep that on Windows 11 for now because I don't see the point in downgrading. So then in that generation we've also got the very dinky, which should be soon. As I owe my friend some money, I might be giving him this basically. So we've got X280 here, which thank you again, we're on the 20k views on that video. 30k nearly on the T480, 20k on this. This is 8th Gen i5. It's 8520U. What am I trying to say? Touch display. Got a very similar port selection, so we've got USB-C power, Thunderbolt docking station, USB, HDMI, and headphone mic jack. Single USB-C on the A on the other side. Smart card reader with a blank in it, and that's about all your ports. It's got a SIM card dock here, but again, it doesn't have the wireless WAN antennas. So this would have been perfect if it had wireless WAN antennas. I would have sessioned this. It needs probably a new battery. Look out in the cards just here for that review if you want to watch more information about this. Then the final one, all we've got left in the house is my son's Lenovo Chromebook, which I'm not going to tell you his name or any details about him, but it's MediaTek CPU, so low powered CPU, 64 gig eMCC, USB power delivery. I don't think that even contains a display signal, that one. There's no video out as far as I'm aware. USB A, headphone microphone, SD card slot. Battery lasts like 14 hours, so it's hench even, and he's actually kept it in decent condition this time, unlike the X220. It's actually not too bad to say it belongs to a child, and it's a decent laptop. So there's your bonus photos. So 1,500 subscribers. Thank you all so much. It gives me an enormous feeling of well-being and competence and self-confidence that I've managed to get to this level, basically. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all your support. I appreciate every single one of you that come by and watch my videos. And yeah, thank you for watching. This has been TechDave. Get at me in the comments with any questions or interesting factoids that you might have, or anything you'd like to know about the machines. I've been TechDave. Peace.